Alright, welcome to the first 3D video for AutoCAD. So these tutorial suites have covered all of the 2D basics, and if you've had a run through of those and found them to be okay, perhaps you'd like to give 3D a try. So this first panel is just asking you to locate this thing. Oops, just asking you to locate this thing up here. This is the view cube, I guess. Don't know if there's a command to open or close it. At least I haven't found one yet. Yeah, but it's called the view cube, and it lets you change your view. It lets you do things that for 3D editing is especially important. So coming over here, if you make a view change, I might zoom out a bit. I can actually Control Z undo that view change with AutoCAD. Like, it will go back to the last pan that I made, and that works with all view changes. So I'm just explaining here that if you happen to make a mistake, which is easy enough to do in this panel, undoing those changes with Control Z will let you see what you're doing again. But this is just asking us to select this object here. We're saying select the green diamond to the right and then click the section of the view key indicated, the top right component. So with that object selected, clicking this top right corner will rotate the view around to a northwest isometric or northeast isometric. So now it's possible to read the stuff on this panel. What I was hoping to demonstrate in that description was that if you've got an object selected and you click different ports of the view cube, you'll rotate around just that object, whereas if you happen to click, if I just click top or if I just click bottom left, it would zoom out to the whole document, and that would give AutoCAD a bit of a hard time. Anyway, after having a read of this, we're basically just saying, okay, success, you've made it, made the right move on the view cube. Now we'll just select these green lines here and hit top so that we can get back to a normal view. We're now 90 degrees off a normal view, but that's okay. We've got arrows at the top to spin us around, and now we can keep moving on. So yeah, we had to start a bit, I guess, boringly. Moving the view cube around is not the most engrossing topic, but once you've figured out how to use it, we can start with some 3D commands. Okay, so the simplest 3D command, I guess, is box. Box can be a cube, it can be a big rectangle, it can be whatever, and the prism, the box prism, has edges which are parallel with the X, Y, and Z axis. So you can see we've got the user coordinate system down here. It's telling us where the X, Y, and Z axis is, and we're going to put a box in this framework. At the moment it doesn't look like much of a framework for a box, though. It looks a bit like a square. Well, if we change our view, now we can see that it is indeed a box. And we can also see where the X, Y, and Z axis is, so that's aligned with that box. We'll be able to draw a box in there easy enough. So there's the command. First corner, second corner, third corner, done. You could also, as long as you're specifying two opposite corners, you can just make it with 2 clicks, because the second click in this case not only describes the XY position but also the Z position of the box. So there's a couple of ways we can do that. What I just did then was shift and middle click to rotate around an object. If you hold down shift and middle click and drag with the mouse, you're able to make these nice rotations, which are very handy for 3D editing. So we need to find, there's a hidden message somewhere on this cube, but it will only show up when we release middle click. That is when we've got the box selected. If I want to rotate around the box just on its own, then everything shows up. But when you're rotating one object that you've got selected, notice that everything else is hidden now. I can't see anything else in the drawing. When I let go of middle click, it appears. So we can keep having a look around, and yep, there it is down there. There's the message. If you can read this, undo the view change, head to the next panel. So I can Control Z to get back to where I was and move over here. You can, with a bit of practice, you can sort of straighten out the view and have a read, but if you find it hard to read, you can select the text and hit top, and then it will square it up again, become perfectly in line with your view. So to fill this box, you see there's a hole in this box here. To fill it in with another box, we're going to need to rotate our view around. So I'll click in that corner, and I can click down in this corner once I've rotated my view, and now I can go up to the appropriate height, somewhere there. What are the properties of this box? We should have length 80, width 30, height 40. Length 80, width 30, height 40. Success. So that box has been drawn correctly. Okay, that's the very basic intro to 3D. See you in the next video when we start to do some more interesting stuff.